It appears prevalent today that science and religion are not compatible. Would you say Islam is compatible with science? And moreover, what's Islam's view on evolution?
There is a historical reference in terms of how certain religions dealt with science, which has led to this misconception today that religion and science are not compatible. And there's validity there. But that's the general aura of religions based on those religions that have ruled the world today. But as a Muslim, and from an Islamic perspective, actually science is a subset of religion for the following reasons. Number one, even in the world of science today, we agree that no sensitive research can be done without an ethical body overseeing the research. And this is generally accepted in this world of science. So why is it that the scientists subject themselves to an ethical body to regulate their experiments? Because at the end of the day, the tools of science can either be used or they can be abused. And therefore, an ethical body has to oversee to make sure that science is a tool that's used to progressively promote humanity. Having said that, we agree, therefore, that an ethical body is a philosophical body that believes in a moral system. And that always supersedes the world of science. And this is a de facto rational position. Hence, to answer that question from that position, we agree that therefore a religious system, should it follow an ethical system, then it should be above the world of science. So therefore, to answer in a simple way, science is a subset of religion. Now, what's the next position that would be logical is that a believer who understands that God is the one who created the universe is the one who created the machinery of science. And therefore, it's absurd to say that these two are incompatible. It's almost like saying that you engineered something, but now you have nothing to do with it. That's an absurd position. So God created the universe, and the system and the tools of science are within His tutelage, within His jurisdiction, which comes under the prescriptions of religion. So these two are without a doubt, and they have to be compatible, or else that religion is a fictitious manufactured religion. And as far as we're concerned, the Quran has at least 600 verses about science relating to us the spectacular universe. In fact, in Surah Al-Mulk, Allah encourages the believers to go and seek and learn the universe, study it. Allah says, "Farji al-basar, hal tara min futur." Return, go see. Do you see any cracks in the universe? ثُمَّ ارْجِعِ الْبَصَرَ كَرَّتَيْنِ يَنْقَلِبْ إِلَيْكَ الْبَصَرُ خَاسِئًا وَهُوَ حَسِيرٌ. You will come back tired and dazzled, the Quran states. So the Quran is encouraging us to be empiricists. It's encouraging us to be scientists. It's encouraging us to understand. And there's a famous statement of the Holy Prophet who says, "Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbah." When you know yourself, you will know your Lord. And what the Prophet is saying is, when you know science, when you know your biology, when you know your existence, you will know your Lord. So the Quran is, and the Hadith and the methodology of Islam is completely in consonance with our empirical nature to observe the universe. For that's the only way we know going forward to understand the presence of God. Evolution is a system that Islam does not reject. This notion of evolution being rejected in Islam is a misconception. The neo-Darwinian principles of evolution somehow presenting this argument that since man evolved through a single cell process, therefore there is no need for a God. This is highly presumptuous. This is actually blind faith. This actually has no logical foundation to stand on. So Islamically, even if I was to follow the Darwinian principles, it does not prove any way whether God exists or does not exist. Because as a scientist, if I say I evolved from a single cell being, it does not imply that there is no God, because the question is, the single cell still begs the question, where did it come from? And we know from rational arguments, from nothing comes nothing. We are something. And therefore, whatever made us is beyond the existent. Therefore, it must be a maker that is higher than the created. And that must be the creator. So this argument is just being brought philosophically in academia simply to confuse humanity. And Islamically, we have no problem with the argument of evolution. The only problem we have is the whole proposed argument that there is no need for a God, which to us is absurd. Now, having said that, we say Islamically, the Quran states that Adam and Eve, who are our parents, Adam and Hawa, they were placed on earth. And scientifically, we know that everything comes from a preceding being. So therefore, how did Adam get into the equation? Well, our argument is, it still begs the original question. For if the single cell creature that came as the precursor to all existent beings, how did that one come? And if that one could come from a maker, so can one be brought in from within the chain. And that's the argument in Islam. And still, it does not negate evolution.